Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jared, and today we're going to be taking a closer look / conducting a full review on the Spyderco Yojimbo 2. So this is a very interesting looking knife. Let's just leave it. In fact, what do you guys think is a more interesting looking knife? The Yojimbo 2 or the Shempui? Let me know what you think down in the comments, guys. So anyways, let's do a quick size comparison with the Yojimbo 2. So we've got the Para 2, PM2, excuse me, Para 3, and the Benchmade 940. So as you can see, it really is unlike any of these knives. In fact, I don't think there's any knife that quite has the silhouette of this thing right here. So we are this is a chunky knife, guys. This is pretty damn chunky. We've got 4.2 ounces, 7.71 inches of total length, 4.49 inches at the handle. We've got 3.22 inches of CPM 20CV steel with a 3-inch cutting edge. And the blade tip is, yes, a modified warncliffe, and the blade stock thickness is 145 thousandths. So same blade stock thickness as the PM2. And it's just a, well, as you can see the shape, it certainly could be very useful for anybody that has anything to do with boxes. Now, that actually brings me to my next point. So the intended design of this knife is for self-defense. I suppose you can kind of see that in the way that the handle is designed. The thickest point of the handle is up here by let's just call it the hilt, and ergonomically it feels really good back there, gotta say. And this little incline right here is for your thumb. And when you hold it like this, it actually feels very good. I don't feel like the knife is going to be, feel like the knife is going anywhere, actually. Even the ridges line up with the spaces in my fingers very nicely. So I guess the theory behind this design is if you were to be stabbing into whatever, you would have enough of an incline here and enough of an incline here that your hand wouldn't slide up. So, yeah, do whatever you want with that information. I'm not by any means suggesting that's what this knife would be good for. I wouldn't be able to tell you if it were or not, to be honest. But apparently, that's what this knife was designed to do. Anyways, we have a compression lock, and that brings me to my next point. The compression lock on this knife. So a lot of times I like to open my knives, my compression lock knives, thumb flicking it. Well, if you do that with this knife, you need to be careful because that compression lock will pinch you, it will bite you. Where? Right there. If you wrap your thumb around there and you you open it, that it will get you, it will. And to me, that seems like a pretty big design flaw because I am not the only one that has said this. Apparently, it's pretty unanimous. I guess it's just something that just has to be dealt with. It is what it is, I guess. Also, it should be it's noteworthy to mention that the hole diameter is a bit smaller on this, which I also found to be interesting. So reverse flicking it isn't really, I mean, it can be done, but it doesn't come as naturally as, say, you know, like a PM2 or anything else, Para 3, things like that. Not really sure why they decided to do that, but, you know, it is what it is. So the price on this, I bought this on the secondhand market. I think this was like, what, maybe 140. It's the DLT exclusive in the 20CV. So is what that is. Do whatever you would like with that information. The aesthetics, I think this knife looks strange. There's no ways about it. I mean, and you know, as I've said before, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and aesthetics is a very subjective category. But I would be willing to bet that if you were able to take a poll for every single human being on the planet and said, "Hey, what do you think about this knife in terms of the way it looks?" I think you would find that a majority of the answers are fucking weird, dude. That shit looks fucking weird. Which is, you know, it is what it is. It's cool. Centering is very good on this. I mean, that tip is just... I mean, that is just fucking pointy. Now, the carry on this, it is a bit cumbersome to carry. I have heavier knives, but the it's just very chunky. What can I say? But you know, again, I suppose if you were carrying this, you know, for self-defense, that wouldn't necessarily matter. And one thing that I do have to say that is really cool about this knife, so the way that it's balanced is actually very, very good, because this is a very thick, heavy, big piece of steel. It is. And this knife has done a good job at balancing the weight between the G10, and we do have steel liners here too, which also helps with the counterweight. It's just very nice, because a lot of times if we didn't have the steel liners in this and we just had, you know, very small liners with mostly G10, I'm telling you that, or if these were skeletonized, I don't think these are skeletonized. No, they're not. Yeah, we needed that weight, because when you have a knife where the blade weighs so much more than the handle, oftentimes what can tend to happen when you deploy the knife like that, the blade is going to keep going that way, especially when you have a very, very light handle and a heavier knife, or a heavier blade in contrast. So I think they did a very good job with the ergonomics and with the weighting of this knife, because it does feel very good. And honestly, surprisingly, this knife feels fantastic in my hands. It really does. Like, it's very stable, very sturdy. And I don't really think that there is a... Like, if I grip down real hard on this, I don't think that there's... Yeah, I'm not even touching the compression lock, right? Even if I do, like, a hammer grip. I suppose I am right there. But I don't really see it... No. I would never be able to close that like that. So... I have heard somewhere that was a concern with this knife, that you know, under hard use, that the compression lock could close. And I mean, I suppose it could happen somewhere. I wouldn't completely put it off the table, but I would say that it would be highly unlikely. So yeah, this is the Spyderco Yojimbo 2. My name is Jared. Thank you very much for checking out the channel, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.